Coming up on Mountain News this morning, the Party Palace is renaming and relocating to a 60,000 square foot complex. And the 18-pound ham at the Kentucky Farm Bureau's annual Country Ham Breakfast broke records when it went up for auction this year.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, I'm Olivia Calfee. The time is 6 o'clock on August 25th. Now let's check in with Chief Forecaster Brandon Robinson for a look at your forecast this morning. And Brandon, the heat is on the way, that's for sure.
Absolutely. We're going to see more of that off and on. We're already seeing it in some places this morning. So again, just be aware of that today. It's going to be record-breaking, record-tying, already muggy out there this morning. Temperature-wise, we're in the 60s and 70s. Of course, always the cooler area in southwest Virginia. We're even back up to 70 in Williamsburg right now. So there's some southwest winds. I'll show those to you in a second. Warmest spot, Ashland now up to 77. They were at 76 a while ago. Moorhead was at 77 a little earlier. They're down to 75 along with Prestonsburg and Monticello. Pikeville's at 72. Jackson 73. Irvin, Manchester, and Middlesboro at 71. Dew points mid to upper 60s, low to mid 70s out there. So it is air you can wear. Swimming in it this morning. Southwest winds and south winds basically bringing those warmer temperatures in. We're going to have a heat wave today. I'm telling you folks, it's going to be one of those situations where I do believe we'll warm up very quickly once the sun comes up. And of course, we're tracking not only heat, but the possibility for some storms later. I do believe we'll be able to get into the 90s there this afternoon with the feels like temperatures of more than 100 degrees or better. And then we see some cooler air come in behind another cold front. We've got a cold front coming in this weekend, but another cold front next week will take us back into the 70s for daytime highs by next Wednesday and Thursday. Olivia?
All right, thank you, Brandon. One of the two people involved in a golf cart incident in Richmond has died, and one member of the community has already made plans to honor his life. Local musician Nicola Cassetta first met 23-year-old Austin Short when his motorcycle broke down a few years ago. Cassetta says Short and his friends came along and helped him load it up in the back of a truck and drove it to a shop. Cassetta and his band are conducting a concert in his honor.
If they can't give, then just to be there for it in support of it. But if they can, I'm going to have a big bucket set up on stage with his name on it, and every dime that goes in there, we're going to take it and we're going to present it to the family.
The fundraiser will be at Champion Sports Bar and Grill in Richmond on Monday at 7. Wednesday, we shared a story of an incident that took place on a Clark County school bus that left a middle school student injured. But 2 days after the incident occurred, the student and his family are receiving an outpouring of community support. Alyssa Williams checked in with a few community members to learn more.
Following the situation that left 12-year-old Bo Baker with a gash on his head, a question posed by community members across social media was why there was no bus monitors on the bus at the time of the incident. Clark County Schools Transportation Manual states that bus monitors are only present if students under the age of 4 are on board, if the school requires one for a child with special needs, or if there are behavioral problems on the bus. While the situation is continuing to be investigated, 12-year-old Bo Baker is receiving some community support in the meantime.
You never want to see this stuff pop up on the news, but when it happens in your community, it's so much worse. So I really felt that I needed to do something.
When Brandon and Tabitha Ashbrook learned of Bo Baker's story, the pair reached out to his mother the next day to see how they could help him.
2 of his biggest hobbies is Kirby and Pokemon related.
That's when the pair put in their own money alongside donations from the community to purchase a Nintendo Switch and some games for Baker. They say this project came together within an hour, then they delivered the gifts.
He stood up and he was like, "Oh, I have to at least give you $20." And he started to head that way, and I'm like, no, you're okay. This is for you. You deserve this.
Baker's mom, Casey Martin, says she can never repay the community for the support they've given her son.
Every time I share that with him, he's like, "You guys make me feel like Captain America. You're making me feel like a superhero." Now he's understanding that there are evil people in the world, but there's also really great people, and there's more great people than there are evil.
In Clark County, Alyssa Williams, WKYT.
Martin adds that a local jiu-jitsu business has also reached out to offer Baker free self-defense lessons once he heals from his injury. Kentucky colleges and universities are making sure students are safe and healthy. This is happening as the country sees an uptick in COVID. COVID isn't the only illness going around. Strep, flu, and the common cold are also spreading. We talked with a health leader at Eastern Kentucky University who says the university is following CDC guidelines if a student gets COVID.
We've become very well experienced at monitoring and tracking illnesses, as many of our other public higher education counterparts have. We take it very, very seriously, and we certainly encourage our students to take advantage of our student health services on campus.
In a statement, University of Kentucky officials say they highly encourage all available vaccinations for faculty, staff, and students, including COVID and flu. They are no longer mandating COVID vaccines or testing. The Kentucky Education and Labor Cabinet released new unemployment numbers yesterday. Unemployment rates rose across 98 Kentucky counties between July 2022 and July 2023. In our area, Martin County recorded the state's highest unemployment rate at 10.5%. Magoffin reported 9.7%. Carter and Elliott each had 8.8%. We are 2 weeks away from when retail sports betting kicks off in Kentucky. Businesses and racetracks across the state are finalizing details on their own plans after 17 licenses were approved this week by the Kentucky Horse Racing Commission. Each location will have bet and jet parking, allowing you to run in and out and place a bet in less than 15 minutes. While retail sports betting will kick off on September 7th, online sports betting will go live on September 28th. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul has honored a Vietnam veteran with a Bronze Star Medal. Paul presented Stephen Stoker with that and several other awards yesterday near Louisville. Stoker was drafted into the Army during the Vietnam War. He was injured a week before his year-long deployment ended and flown out for treatment. Senator Paul says honoring people like Stoker is a very rewarding part of his job.
Both my wife and I grew up in military families, and it's a big deal, you know, to honor the service of those who gave so much. And, you know, it was a tough time.
Paul says in a news release to any veterans in need to reach out to him to see how he can help. For folks in Laurel County, you may be familiar with the Party Palace. The entertainment space was at one location for 14 years. Now, as WYMT's Keaton Hall shows us, the Party Palace is losing the party in its name, but adding a whole lot more.
From 18 lanes of bowling to indoor go-karts, you'll be hard-pressed to find similar attractions anywhere else in eastern Kentucky.
Now, this will be the only one between Lexington and Knoxville.
Craig Tincher is the owner of The Palace, a soon-to-be-opened 60,000 square foot entertainment complex on North Main Street in London. And it doesn't stop at bowling and go-karts. The Palace also features 60 arcade games, a restaurant and bar, and laser tag.
The laser tag arena is 2,500 square feet. You can run 2 teams of 12 at each time. And so it's a pretty nice arena in there.
The Palace has been a dream of Tincher's for years, a step up from the Party Palace that he's owned for more than a decade.
The current Party Palace location, we've been there for 14 years, and we've always dreamed of something bigger for our town. And so this building came available about 2 years ago. We started the process of moving in here. Started construction in January, and we're just about finished now.
Providing a big town experience for his small community.
People just can't wait for something like this to come to our small town. Like I said, there's nothing like this between Lexington and Knoxville. Within 100 miles, this place usually is probably to attract people from that area.
Tincher says they hope to open at 5 p.m. next Friday, September 1st. In Laurel County, Keaton Hall, WYMT Mountain News.
Tincher says they also have private bookings for parties available. You can find more information on our website. A new record was set at Kentucky Farm Bureau's annual Country Ham Breakfast in Louisville. This year, the 18-pound ham sold at auction for a record-breaking $10 million. That's double last year's record. Central Bank and Joe and Kelly Kraft each contributed $5 million for the winning bid. The money raised from the auction will go to support a number of charities.
There are a lot of great needs in this Commonwealth, and you know, if you're going to give the money, if you're going to stay active in charitable giving, like let's do it big time. Let's do it here at the Kentucky State Fair and at this ham breakfast, where it is about people. It is about Kentuckians.
It's not the ham. It's what we can do back and give back to our communities we serve and this great state we live in.
The crafts donation will go to a variety of places, including an effort to build 57 new homes in Knott County for flood victims.
6:10 here on this Friday morning. We're taking a live look at I-75 northbound there at Mount Vernon, and you can see a little bit of fog down that way and some light traffic. Just be careful as you head out the door this morning. A few clouds potentially out there right now, but it is not stopping the heat. 70s pretty much across the mountains with the exception of the spots in Southwest Virginia. But even Wise is close to 70 this morning at 68. Grundy and Clintwood 66, and then of course 76 in Ashland, the warmest spot in their region. On the way to 95, when you factor in the heat index, it's going to feel like close to or just above 100 degrees. And hopefully we get some relief this weekend as we see some cooler temperatures come behind a cold front to start next week. Olivia?
Thank you, Brandon, and thanks for joining Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. Coming up, the United States is getting ready to train Ukraine to fly F-16s, but first a language barrier has to be dealt with.